Welcome back. For centuries, China has offered its people a chance to come to the capital to present their grievances directly to the emperor. Chinese officials started a new way for those not inclined to make the trip: petition online. Well, officials of the State Bureau of Letters and Calls says that it makes the process more convenient and allows them to track their petitions. And as you would imagine, the website crashed on its first day. While officials restored it Monday afternoon, the morning failure triggered mockery across China's social media platforms. This includes the popular Twitter-like Sina Weibo microblogging service. Now, petitioning, or shangfeng in Chinese, is a modern form of an ancient system in which people who face injustice at home came to the capital to voice their grievances directly to the emperor. The State Bureau acts as a middleman for petitioners and the central government. While the Bureau has long been criticized for being ineffective, local officials often go out of their way to keep petitioners from reaching it so as to avoid being criticized by the central government. Hired thugs often threaten protesters or even haul them away to unofficial prisons known as black jails. For a feel of netizen sentiment, we go to the newsroom now and our researcher, Julia Liu. Julia, depending on how one looks at it, the crashing of the web page could be seen either as good or bad. What's their take on this novel idea?
Well, yes, you're right. Well, that apparently brings much disappointment for net users. And in fact, many net users held pretty high expectations before it was launched. And this poster listed several reasons for this expectation. It will save much cost for petitioning, and petitioners don't have to pay for the trip all the way to Beijing. And there's less chance for petitioners to be caught back by their local governments. And it will definitely raise the government's image if implemented well. And the performance of the website in the few days after launch is obviously far from satisfactory. And many users said that they expected the crash due to the number of potential petitioners. For example, 幸运玲珑石 has this comment on Weibo.com. Well, the crash tells many things. It tells that there are too many people rushing to the website. It tells there are too many problems to be solved. It tells there is too much unfairness in the society and too many local officials who don't do their duties well enough. And meanwhile, some interpreted the government's use of a server that couldn't handle the first-day traffic as a sign of insincerity. And many mentioned 12306.cn. Well, that's the official website for purchasing train tickets in China. While the railway ministry was under fire after the website, which cost $50 million, crashed several times during rush hours last year. And this poster, 舞动的蕾丝边, says sarcastically, well, the best buddy of 12306.cn seemed to be coming to rescue it from all the criticism. What a touching story.
Well, fortunately, the website was restored. Now, did people like the website's function?
Well, first of all, there's pretty much complaints over the bugs in some basic functions of the website. Well, online petitioners have to register with their verified information, including national identification number, while potentially exposing them to retribution. And additionally, the site only works on Internet Explorer and limits the amount of supporting materials that can be uploaded to a paltry 2 megabytes for each case. And many net users argue that the online petitioning system, like its real-world counterpart, well, both suffers limitations and offers avenues for abuse. And 豆瓣玉米 says on Weibo.com, well, this is how it works. With this new system, it's just easier for local officials to suppress complaints and take revenge. They don't even have to bother looking for the petitioners on the street. They can find them through a simple clip picture of the complaints on the website. And some posters also commented on an editorial in the Communist Party's mouthpiece, People's Daily. Well, it questioned whether the online service would evolve into an excuse for local officials to keep the petitioners from going to Beijing. And 一笑半生缘 agrees and comments on QQ.com. This just makes everything look fine from outside. The result is that you will see less petitioners on the street, while the local governments also find it easier to target the petitioners on the internet. What a win-win strategy.
Well, Julia, netizens appear quite pessimistic, though. But what about current ways of airing complaints?
Well, first I have to say a state bureau that specifically deals with petitioning is already something pretty exclusive in the world. And some net users think that is the lack of the rule of the law that resulted in this phenomenon. And Bao Linan has this to say on Sina.com. The petitioning bureaus was established when the People's Republic of China was first founded, and there wasn't much law at that time. But now decades has passed, people still can't get fair treatment through law. That's why the petitioning office still exists. Well, where's the society ruled by law that we've been promised for decades? Well, some more rational pollsters realize that this is not something that can change in the short term. And Tian Jiali says on people.com.cn. Well, we all know that it's the lack of functioning of law as well as some other factors that resulted to this. But let's face it, it won't change. And the petitioning has become the only way for those who can't get their voices heard in court. And the online channel is an important step. And let's just wish that it's not a pointless step and can really bring some benefits to us. Well, time will tell everything.
All right, thanks a lot, Julia. That was our researcher, Julia Liu, with reaction from Chinese netizens on the latest petition website. After the break, some of the hottest trending phrases on China's most popular search engines.